September 2020 video horoscopes for the 12 signs. I'm Lada from astrolada.com. Welcome to the craziest year and one of the tougher months. September, October, November, guys, months we're not gonna forget. And months of big spiritual growth. That's what we say to make you feel good. But indeed, you will see months where Saturn and Mars are square all the time. Mars is going retrograde this month, which means that some great feat of willpower will be required from us, and some great use of willpower, but we'll eventually will be able to achieve something tremendous by November, December, that we'll be so proud of. So we'll speak about each of the 12 signs, how Mars retrograde affects us. But just to let you know, me and Brian are making a fantastic webinar this September, in the middle of September. It's called speed reading the birth chart. So basically what it means to have the sun, moon, ascendant in different signs, how to tie them together, how to interpret the chart, what it means for you. And it's from the point of evolutionary astrology. I'm very excited about this webinar. Last webinar Brian did had 300 or 400 people, so, and it's 30% discounted. Come and join us to see how to quickly read the birth chart and what it means. It's for beginners, even for advanced or beginners. You don't need to know much astrology to understand it. Thank you so much. Let's start with the signs. Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, September 2020. Scorpio, your ruler, one of your rulers, Mars, is going retrograde in your 6th house for the first time in 30 years, and it will be another 40 years before, something like that, before it goes retrograde again in your 6th house. So you have a very unique and rare opportunity to really straighten out your game and correct it when it comes to 6th house matters. And what is that? This is your health, first of all. Because Mars retrograde usually requires 3 times more efforts, and usually can create some crisis situation that pushes you to take way more seriously matters of the 6th house. So there might be some crisis, emergency, like health emergency that happens, like, you know, Mars there, some inflammatory conditions, for example, a cold or whatever, or something that virus, some inflammation that happens. And that's a big sign for you to really change your lifestyle. And Mars will require 3 times more efforts, but it will allow you, once it's finished its retrograde movement, so by December, basically in the middle of November onwards, that you might have transformed your health habits like never before. And by using willpower. It's not going to happen like suddenly you wake up and I'm going to drink juices from today, I'm not going to eat meat, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to smoke. No, it's willpower, but something, some situation, some maybe a mini crisis can push you in that direction, that you really, you know, do this and say, okay, I have to tackle that health problem. I have to tackle that unbalanced way of lifestyle I've been having, like a soldier training. Some of you might just decide that it's high time that they're able to see their 6-pack. So they get so angry and frustrated, because Mars motivates us through anger and frustration or by challenge, that they finally decide that they're going to start that workout routine, or that they're going to start taking care of the immune system, or that they're going to start some kind of a, usually Mars in the 6th house is something physical that you do that will fix your health in the long term. Do this now, guys. This will be the best way, using Mars in the 6th house. And this will be the best way. It might even be connected to changing food, you know, and nutrition, lifestyle as well. And so that's one way that can have very positive effect, but it will be quite hard. You know, you'll feel a lot of challenges there initially, especially the first couple of months while Mars is retrograde, September, October. But the final results can be 3 times more lasting and powerful. You can basically, you can get rid of some health problem that you've had for a long time, and you have only yourself to thank for that. Because 6th house problems, they're health problems, they're ones that come from unbalanced lifestyle. They're not karmic, they're not because you have the wrong genes, they're because of a wrong lifestyle, because of not taking enough care of ourselves. So And so that's definitely something that you can correct now, because Mars retrograde likes to fix and correct those things. Sixth house is also your work and your work environment. And you can start feeling it's becoming more aggressive, more competitive. There might be some crisis situation that happens in your work environment with workmates. Say, for example, some project that gets returned and says, okay, you have to redo it, or, or that you're given extra work that is quite demanding for you. You might be burning, you might be doing like 10-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts at the office, at work. And that can feel also frustrating as well. But at the end of the process, when Mars starts moving direct, you have a unique opportunity to have really done something of great feat, of great willpower with some career or work project. On a positive level, it can mean like an old job might come back to you, an opportunity for an old job, or a job that you stopped working can come back to you, or some interview you did for a career now and you haven't heard from them and it comes back. So that can be a good thing. If old job opportunities appear or projects, I would say work on them. They'll be quite hard to do. They will require a lot of focus and concentration, but again, the final result can be great because Mars is in its own sign and allows you to do some great feat of willpower there to achieve your status, your career, work status, employment status. Some old employees might come back that you can re-employ again, or some problems with existing employees can come up. Say if you're a manager and they can, they can do some mistake, they can stress you, can fight with them, or you can fight with workmates, co-workers as well. Or there might be the need to re-examine and change and how you do your job. There might be the need that you examine your efficiency, your work environment as well, your daily healthy habits as well, and you'll be more motivated to put extra focus on them. But you can find that certain work projects are going slower than you hope and that they're more demanding than other times. Sixth house is also debt. Some people might decide to really tackle on all debt and now say, finally, it's time to get rid of it or to do something to, to fix it. So they'll do the extra efforts and work to get rid of that debt. And it might be material debt, financial debt, to remortgage the house or something, or a debt towards someone else that they have to repay now, and they repay it and they're free of it. By the end of the process, when Mars goes direct, you might have completed some service or some debt that leaves you with much cleaner karma. It can indicate that your work basically becomes more demanding, or some service. You're called to do some service to take care of someone that is disadvantaged, that is, the disadvantaged, the marginalized of some sort. So if you're working in social services, if you're working as a police officer, if you're working as a nurse, as a doctor, these are all careers that are dealing with people out of balance, and mental health care, or legal. Sixth house is also like people that court cases that are fighting all the time, that are in divorce situations as well. It can indicate some intense battle that is happening there with such matters. If you're having a court case, for example, its enemies, according to ancient astrology, of sixth house, but Mars there wins over its enemies. So it can indicate that you can eventually win some court case, but don't start the court case. Only if it's one that's already been existing, and it will be a difficult fight, but at the end of this process, by November, December, you can win a court case, or an issue with an enemy of yours that is very strong, that kind of challenges you, that enemy. You can win a battle over an addiction as well. Sixth house rules physical addictions of sorts that make you out of balance, anything that takes you out of balance as well. But the struggle is real while Mars is retrograde there. And when it starts moving direct, you can start feeling relief and, proud, and here it is. I've done it. Sixth house is also the house of service. So you might be called to do some difficult service, or if you're a police office, a doctor, nurse, social service of some sort, it might be very demanding time for you. There might be quite a few stresses, but it can be a unique opportunity to really prove what you're capable of, and how much you can cope with, and how much you can handle. And you can, people you know, that in service works, they're not usually there to impress others, but you can find yourself that you're like a warrior for the good now and for the oppressed, and a warrior for those in need. Eight houses, sorry, six house rules, those in need, those the oppressed, those that are victims of some sort, that in some situation of unbalance themselves, of conflict, of disease. uh, so yeah, there you go, interesting things you'll be doing, Scorpio. um, or just, as I said, it's work project that can be quite demanding as well. And health. Okay, and there is another thing that's happening though. You're receiving some help from Venus in Leo, which is in your 10th house. So there is support. Maybe a good authority figure can help you with what you're going through the 6th house. Maybe a good, 10th house is any authority figures. Might be a good doctor who directs you in the right direction if it's a health problem. It might be a good uh, person in authority or power that helps you with some complicated matter that you're fixing. 6th house is to fix problems, and Mars likes to fix problems. So it's one of the best transits Mars can have through the 6th house. Not the easiest, but one of the best results, because you can overcome enemies, you can fix problems that you haven't dealt with in a long time, fix health issues, get a lot of, service done and work and organization and order, and removing unhealthy habits, and removing overly complicated uh, situations from your life. So somehow also Venus in the 10th house allows for you to enjoy the work and the worldly responsibilities that you're having. So there is support there. Ask for the support of people in power, institutions, bosses, and such. And it also can mean that you're enjoying that process of taking life into your control somehow. Um, but of course, when Mars is retrograde, you can feel more frustrated, as I said. You can feel like things are moving slower than you expect. You can feel more challenged. But again, I think we mentioned all the positive you can expect as well. Um, so, and also Saturn is being stationary in your 3rd house for the whole month. I think it's the last time you're gonna really feel difficulties in this 3rd house, because for 2 years, 3 years, Saturn has been retrograde back and forth into the 3rd house. So it's the last month where there can be some challenges and difficulties with siblings, relatives, neighbors, communication devices, phones, laptops, and anything connected to even communications of any sort. So even blockages with your, um, uh, you know, blockages with business communication. With, it might feel like things are stuck and difficult there, but things are starting to change and shift direction. And by the end of the month, Saturn starts moving direct. So from October, you'll see a big relief with any problems you might have had with those 3rd house people, with some friends, with relatives, with people in your social environment, with um, something you've been studying, with maybe feeling unheard or feeling blocked to communicate, or feeling kind of challenged in your communications, in your some challenging projects connected to marketing, to advertising, to writing, to speaking, and to using your skills. They'll start untangling, and media marketing, as I said, any such projects, they'll start moving forward and start becoming easier from October. But September is like the last time there can be some delays then. Even the ability to move freely to and from places can feel challenging or require quite a few efforts while Saturn is stationary in this 3rd house. So thank you so much, Scorpio, and I will see you next month.